The Tale of the Dog and the Shadow. Before we start this tale, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, share your comments, and follow Tales of Our Ancestors for more. Now let's begin with our story. Once upon a time, in a vibrant and bustling village nestled deep in the heart of Africa, there was a world where nature and humanity lived in perfect harmony. The emerald leaves of mighty baobab trees swayed gently to the whispers of the afternoon breeze. Riverbeds sparkled as they caught the golden kisses of the sun, while the hum of village life filled the air, the pounding of grain in wooden mortars, the laughter of children at play, and the confident voices of elders sharing wisdom around a crackling fire. In this village lived a curious and spirited black dog named Tandala. Tandala was beloved by the villagers for his playful nature, his loyalty, and a boundless energy that seemed to carry him from dawn to dusk. Yet, like all beings, Tandala had lessons yet to learn, and so began the tale that would teach him, and all who hear it, the importance of contentment over greed. One day, as the sun climbed high into a cobalt blue sky, Tandala wandered beyond the village boundaries. The thrill of exploration lit up his eyes as he padded through tall grass, sniffing at fragrant plants and pausing to observe tiny birds darting between branches. His nose twitched as an enticing scent reached him, a smell both rich and savory. Tandala followed the trail with his keen senses until beneath the shade of a blossoming tree he found it, a bone. Not just any bone, but a large, delicious-looking one. His tail wagged furiously as he pounced on his newfound treasure, clasping it firmly between his teeth. Pride filled him as he pranced toward the river, his prize held high like a victorious hunter returning home. As Tandala walked along the riverbank, still relishing his victory, the shimmering surface of the water caught his eye. He paused and looked down. What he saw made him freeze in astonishment. There, reflected in the mirror-like waters of the river, was another dog. Its coat was black and glossy like Tandala's, and in its mouth it held a bone too. But wait, this other dog's bone looked even bigger, meatier, and far more tempting than the one Tandala carried. Tandala's eyes widened. He thought, "How lucky I have been to find this bone. But if I can claim the other dog's bone as well, I will have two. My fortune will be the greatest of all." Consumed by his desire for the larger bone, Tandala's playful nature gave way to something darker, greed. He let out a low growl, his reflection mimicking him. The other dog, as Tandala saw it, seemed unwilling to let go of its bone. This infuriated Tandala. His growls became aggressive, his posture tense. Then, in a defiant bark and a snap of his jaws, Tandala decided to claim both bones for himself. But as Tandala opened his mouth wide to bark at the reflection, his own prized bone slipped from his teeth. Time seemed to slow as the bone tumbled downward, splashing into the clear waters of the river. His beloved treasure sank, the ripples of water washing away the other dog and its illusory bone. Tandala stood there stunned. The truth settled over him like the shadow of a passing cloud. There had been no other dog. The glistening bone in the water was nothing but his own reflection, a trick played by his own greed. Now, even the bone he had in his possession was gone forever. He whined softly, his head lowering in regret. In his desire for more, he had lost the gift he already possessed. Why wasn't I satisfied with the bone I had, Tandala thought sorrowfully. Whoever desires another's treasure may end up losing their own. Feeling humbled and a touch wiser, Tandala turned away from the river. His steps were slower now, his tail no longer wagging with the same gusto. As Tandala returned to the village, the familiar sounds of life greeted him. The villagers, though curious about Tandala's subdued demeanor, welcomed him warmly. He nuzzled their hands and lay silently beside the hearth of an elder who was preparing to tell a story to the children of the village that evening. Tandala had learned a great truth that day, and now, through the elder's voice, his lesson would serve as wisdom for others. As twilight descended, the village gathered to hear the elder's story under the vast star-speckled sky. The glowing embers of the fire danced beside them as the elder began. "Children, listen closely, for this is a tale worth remembering. It is the story of Tandala, the spirited dog, and the lesson he learned about greed. With a voice that carried the rhythm of Africa's timeless oral traditions, the elder recounted Tandala's adventure. The children clung to every word as they imagined the shimmering river, the enticing bone, and the sad moment when Tandala realized his mistake. When the story ended, the elder's wise eyes swept over the young faces around the fire. "Tell me," the elder asked, "what does Tandala's story teach us?" A small child raised her hand. "It teaches us to be happy with what we have," she said softly. The elder smiled. "Yes, my child. Many are those who lose everything in their quest for more than they need. Contentment, gratitude, and wisdom. These are the treasures that will never slip away." As the fire crackled softly and the night songs of cicadas filled the air, Tandala stretched out peacefully near the elder's feet. There was no longer any sign of the greedy restlessness that had consumed him earlier that day. Now he understood what it meant to be truly satisfied. High above, the moon bathed the village in its silver light, as though blessing it with calm and peace. And so, Tandala's tale became a cherished story, passed down through generations, a reminder to never let our desires blind us to the blessings we already hold. Let the ripples of this moral echo across the rivers of life. The one who holds gratitude in their heart holds the key to true happiness. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, and follow Tales of Our Ancestors for more.